And I immediately want to wipe off the camera because I feel like it's kind of fuzzy looking. What do you guys think? Okay. Get something to wipe it off. Hold on. I think it's the same. Okay, so I'm just gonna pause momentarily and see if we can actually get somebody on this slide. I can't see. Nope, not yet. Anyway, so I'm here at the airport, LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, and I'm headed out. For those of you who may have seen the live stream I did at 3 a.m., I got no sleep. I mean, like, you know how like finally at 4 or 5 o'clock you drift off, and then it's like, okay, now I gotta get up. I had that kind of sleep. So I basically had no sleep. And so I'm exhausted. So I'm really looking forward to getting on this flight. I'm going to the East Coast. And I plan to sleep the whole time. It's a direct flight. I have my little eye patches. I have a book, which I probably am not going to read because I'm going to start reading it. I'm hoping it's going to make me fall asleep. And that is the plan. Oh, hi, people. Some folks on there. Hi. And I always get the thumbs up right away. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Glennie B. So, yes, I'm about to travel. And after I left that long, not super long, but, after I recorded the live early this morning, of course, I had some thoughts, and I talked to my bestie. No, I think we messaged each other early in the morning. And she was like, girl, give yourself some grace. Her words, hence the title. She's like, she wasn't like pumping me up like, you're the shit, not that kind of a thing. But hey, Danielle, I know I love sleeping on airplanes too. It's the best. But it's not a full flight, so I'm hopeful that like no middle seat, like get away from me kind of thing. I just want to spread out. But she was saying, she's like, Kelly, you are in the midst of a transition, which is true, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. And I have all these things, like I'm always juggling a million things, right? Like I'm a single mom, I work hard, I have like one main job and all these like little side things I do, different clients I'm working with, and actually I got a new one today, thank God. So that's some grace right there. Managing a household, like everything. I have to buy groceries, all this stuff, check all the boxes. The car needs to get washed or oil change or just everything, right? And so it's exhausting. And this is going to be interesting because, so I told you guys I got notice of the clinic I work for at the law school is being closed at the end of this semester. And so that's the end of my contract is up in June. And so it's essentially like a layoff, I guess. And so check this out. So here's the thing. I already had been like quietly in my mind thinking, I think I'm kind of done with this job, right? Like I know there's some other things I really want to do that excite me, that make me feel like, I want to just change my whole, just do something I really am passionate about. And this is not it. I mean, there are aspects of the job that I do like, but this is not my passion project for sure. And so, but that's a lot. And okay, and so here's the thing. When I left the DR, was it 3 years ago? Yeah, because of middle school, right? So when I left the DR for my son to do middle school here in California, I had a plan all along. My plan was come back here, as I said to you guys last night on the live, come back, do middle school in the U.S., and then I'm out, right? I knew I wanted to come to LA to do entertainment stuff, basically as a side hustle to supplement my income at Berkeley, which I've done. It has not gone as I thought it was going to be. At first, I had a contract with Disney, which was sweet. I made more money with Disney on the side hustle than I did with Berkeley. That tells you something. But it was just a contract. So after maybe like 6 months, it was over. Then they started laying off people. And so anyway, and for those of you who know about Novatech, I had my Novatech money coming in. So I was good for a while. And then, things started to change. I give all the inspiration that's doable. Thank you, Danielle. That's so nice. I try to be I'm not trying to be inspirational, but I do hope that the reason I share this stuff, one, it helps me vent. It's like free therapy for me. It helps me vent. But I also really do hope that it connects with some of you guys out there, because I think all of us go through the same type stuff, right? People don't talk about it all the time, and everyone tries to, put on a mask and act like everything's cool and look good and everything, but shit is tough, right? So that's why I'm just breaking it down. I'm like, look, I'm going to talk to these people and just say, here's what's really happening. Not like I've tried to pretend before, but anyway. So, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, so my money was great at first, and then all these, like, my different little jobs are falling off, and now the final one has fallen off. And actually, when I found out that it was happening, it I knew. I was like, oh, this is God talking to me. This is like my sign that, okay, it's time for you to, like, for sure do your thing, right? Because they say when one door closes, another one opens. And so my boss called me one day and he's like, are you someplace you can talk? And he explained to me what was happening. And I was like, oh, okay. And I remember by the end of the conversation, he's like, you're taking this really well. And I was like, I know, because in my mind, I had already been preparing for whatever was next. I didn't know exactly what or whatever, but I knew. I just was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. And the deal is that I've been able to be remote most of the time. I was hired during COVID, so I was fully remote then. I was in the DR, actually. But now the law school wants people to be on campus most of the time. Well, I'm in LA and school's in Berkeley. So for those of you who don't know, that's Northern and Southern California. This is like an hour flight, which I've been doing. I've been commuting back and forth. Not every, so this class meets twice a week. Anyway, whatever, those are details. But I don't want to move back to the Bay Area. Anyway, the point is, there were reasons that I didn't want to go back, right? So now here we are. Okay, so get this though. Here's a little interesting wrinkle that happened. So I did the live last night. I've been having all these thoughts, even in terms of the layoff. Like, okay, this is like a gateway opening up for you. It feels kind of crazy. It does make, even though I knew I wanted to do something different, it's different when someone says to you, oh, by the way, you're about to be out of a job in June. It's like, oh, okay, like it's definitely going to happen now. And so sometimes you get that little kick, right? Sometimes, we have a plan, but then you get that push out of the nest, like it's time to fly and do what you really want to do. And so it's a good thing, but it can still make you feel kind of nervous and vulnerable or whatever, which it has. And so you guys remember the young lady who used to be my neighbor in the DR. In fact, I got her, didn't get her, but I kind of did. I introduced her to the place where I was living, and there was a villa available next door, and we were kind of friendly, and she was my assistant for a while, and then things went sour. Her name is Nicole, and she started a YouTube channel too, and all that stuff. And it got really funky at the end because I felt very betrayed by her and very offended by some things that she had done. And it just was not good at the end. Well, time heals all wounds, and things were softened. I don't know what it was. I do not know why. But for some reason last night I was thinking about, my life in the DR and all this stuff. And I thought about her. And I was like, I wonder how, what she's up to and, what her channel is doing. So I went on to see, and I just saw, I guess, a couple of fairly recent videos she put up. And one of them said something about that she was laid off. And I was like, okay, I didn't even know what job she had, or I haven't known what Nicole's been up to for a long time. And she was saying the same thing, right, about whatever job she had. She's been laid off, but she also felt like it was an opening and like a chance for her to do what she really wants to do and all this kind of stuff. And it was really funny because I actually laughed at some of the things she was talking about. It was kind of funny to me, similarities. And I was like, damn, it's a good thing. And so I just feel like, even it's just energetically, like a healing, like peace and love, no drama, and I don't have any hard feelings. All that shit's in the past, right? So it just, again, it's almost like you mentioned inspiration, Danielle, it's almost like a sign or some level of inspiration saying, things are being cleaned out and healed, and good energies coming in where it might have been funky before. And that's just one example that was totally out of the blue that I didn't expect. But who knows, there could be other things, right? So we live in the physical universe, right? You could see seats in the airport lounge, and you can see the machinery outside and stuff, right? That's tangible evidence of the world that we live in. But there's a whole nother world there are many really that exist simultaneously, different dimensions and all that. And I won't go too deep into that for those of you who don't know about it or aren't into it. But suffice it to say, this is just one aspect. That's like when you daydream, right? You're in a whole nother place, but you're still sitting in the chair, for example, right? But you could be a million miles away, imagining yourself in some other location, engaged in some other activity, or have a memory like a flashback or deja vu. So there's different levels to how we're living. And so I'm just taking all of this as you're good, you're on the right track. I'm getting hearts. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I ever got hearts before. Thank you. And so here's another example. So I was going through some mail just this morning that I had put it was under some stuff. And I it was maybe from last week, or I guess a few weeks ago actually. And I'd taken it just kind of hurrying inside one day and stuck it on the table, or I don't know, you know how things can get stuck under some stuff. And I was looking through it like, oh shoot, and one of them was my car insurance. I said, oh shit, and I opened it up, and it had expired. Like my insurance had been canceled because I missed the last payment. And I'm like, oh my god. So I call my insurance company. I'm like, and it was like 2 weeks, past due, not super late, but I just missed it, right? And they're like, you can reinstate it. You have to pay this. It's like $400 I had to pay plus. And they made me pay a down payment because I had missed. So I guess I'm like a risk or something now. And I was like, that's almost $1,000. Like I'm not wanting to just cough up $1,000 right now. And I was like, you know what? God has got me. It's gonna be okay. I mean, I do technically have the money in my account, but that money is like allotted for other things, right? And so I really did not have that to spare in my rational, my current reality mind. But I was like, wait a second, remember, Kelly, there's all these other dimensions and God's got your back and the whole bit. And so I told the lady on the phone, I was like, you know what, God's got me, it's gonna be okay. So let's just do the whole thing. And she's like, that's right. So she was like chiming in about absolutely and your faith and all that stuff. So I took a deep breath and I paid the whole thing, which was not fun, but I did it because I gotta have insurance in my car, right? Hold on. I don't know if you can hear me over that.
And airport personnel whose employment requires
airport personnel.
All others must exit the airport.
Thank you.
Violators are subject
my
to
goodness,
arrest
it's a long
and
message.
Prosecution.
Okay,
More
so
information can
my
be found at
god.
lawa.org. Thank you.
The long message. Okay, so I paid the money. It was like I think around $900, like that I was not expecting. On a dime, I had to pay this, right? And then on the way to the airport just now, I get a message from a former client, like a recent client, who said, hey, such and such a person wants you to do the same thing for them you just did for me. I'm sending him your information, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, now that's not the whole amount. That's like a little something, right? But it's gonna pay probably $500 or so, which, like to write a letter basically, that I've already written. So I'm just gonna, do the same thing for someone else. I don't have to like duplicate my effort. And I was like, oh, see there it is. That's already working out. And I'm going back east because, oh my God, can you hear me over this? I don't know. Can somebody tell me, can you hear me over these announcements? Can you guys just send a little message like, yes, we can hear you, or no, we can't, while the announcements are happening? So I'm going back east, and one of my friends back there, who's very well connected in lots of different ways, is like, okay, I want you to meet with it. Oh, great, thank you, Danielle. I want to have you meet with this person and that person, like trying to set up some stuff for future opportunities. So I fully expect that that's going to go well. And basically, can you just tell my whole demeanor has changed, even though, gracias, miches. Yeah, it's all good. And so I'm packed, I'm waiting for my flight, I have plenty of time. Like things are gonna go up. And when I'm in like my right mind and I'm feeling like not stressed and not sleepy and not all worried about stuff and not comparing myself to people and all that stuff, I'm like, I'm good. But that's what I was saying last night, is that I'm gonna try to start talking more slowly. I realize I go really fast sometimes. My mom always tells me that. But everything really is okay. In fact, it's better than okay. And I do get caught up sometimes in thinking like, oh gosh, I don't have like the big beautiful property that I want to have, or like, own a multiplex building and, have that kind of investment property, or, I'm not in like a 20-something year marriage like some of my friends are. It's funny though, because some of them who are in those marriages are like, girl, be careful what you ask for. And some of them have gotten out of those marriages, or how whatever it is you think that maybe if you had this, like a big fat bank account, or whatever, some material thing, or a skinnier body, or whatever it is that we think sometimes is going to make life better. That's not really it. It's just how you choose to feel in here, in your heart, and in your mind. Hi from Texas, Kenny. What's up? So I'm just feeling better. I am feeling inspired. I'm feeling like it's all gonna be good. My cousin's having her 50th birthday, so that should be fun also. Things are always working out for me. Exactly. Abraham Hicks, let me tell you, if you guys don't know about Abraham Hicks, Google Abraham Hicks, go buy a book. My favorite book by Abraham Hicks is Ask, and is it called Ask and It Is Received? I haven't what's the book called? Asking it is answered. That's what it is. Asking it is answered. I believe that's it. That book is like almost in pieces. You wouldn't know it because I forgot the title, but that blew my mind. Let me show you the book I have for the airplane, by the way. Speaking of all this metaphysical good stuff, this one, boom, Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. Do you guys know who Joe Dispenza is? Look up Joe Dispenza on YouTube. Now, if you try to do some of his meditations and you are not familiar with him or you haven't done any meditation recently, it might seem really weird, might kind of blow your mind because he's definitely like, woo, next level. But this right here, this will change your life. And so Asking It Is Given, that's a great book. Fantastic book. If you don't have it, get it and read the book. I read the book and it changed my life, seriously. I've been reading this kind of stuff for decades now. That's why I know that everything really is okay, even if it looks like the sky is falling, and sometimes it does. Like today, it's like, what the fuck? I don't have this money right now. It's all good. And I do get down on myself sometimes because I feel like, shoot, at this point in my life, I thought I was going to have, X, Y, Z, whatever. And I want to have A, B, C, D. Hello, God, where are you? Clock is ticking. But
attention in the terminal, passenger who may have left an iPhone.
No, but the passenger who left a bag of money, that's me. If they call for that person, I'm going. Yeah, guys, I guess I just want to say that all these little things, like synchronicities, right? So, for example, in this book, in Becoming Supernatural, and it's a big one, but it's good. See, I have my pen. I just started. See how far I read? Not that much. But already, it's like, it starts off like, boom, really good. It talks about when you start to get in alignment and you just, I'll just say get in alignment and stop worrying and just start trusting, like, okay, I don't know how. Even if you don't have any idea, let's say you don't have any kind of faith really, but if you just say, okay, I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm willing to believe. You may not even fully believe it, but you're willing to believe that things will work out. My mortgage or my rent's gonna get paid, my car note's gonna get paid, like I'm going to overcome this challenge in my life, whatever it might be, right? Just be willing to believe it, even if there's no evidence at all that is the case. Just be willing to believe it. And then little by little, it may not happen right in that moment or even that day or that week, but if you just keep on just, saying, God, send me a sign, give me some clue, just let me know, you'll see something will happen. Like, out of the blue, I haven't thought about Nicole in forever. By the way, she had a baby. How sweet is that? She has a baby girl now. And then I see this thing that says, where she's talking about that she got laid off too and how she too is feeling like vulnerable and all this, but now she sees it as a sign to go do her own thing. I was like, how random is that? Guess what? It's not random. It's like synchronous. And then the thing with the insurance payment, and I'm like, oh my God. And then boom, right after, someone messages me about, hey, I got someone else for you. And again, it's just a little bit, but I've had probably 4 or so little things like that, little clients, like, 500 here, 500 there, but just little stuff, you know what I mean? I'll take it. I'll take an extra 500 or 1,000 or, 2,000, that's great. Because I know that's just the beginning, and then it's like the faucet starts dripping, so okay, there's water flowing, and so you just keep on working with it, and then it'll be a stream, and it won't be 500, it'll be 5,000 or 50,000 or whatever. So I'm fully believing that. Chasing life. Hello, how you doing? So for those of you who may not be on exactly just joining us, we are at LAX, Los Angeles Airport. I am waiting on my flight to go back east. It is an overcast day here in Southern California. See the clouds? But it's comfortable. I have on this jacket because I'm going back east and it's going to be cold, but it's comfortable here. It's in the 60s. I am talking about how, although things seem like they are crazy sometimes and you can really doubt yourself and feel like your life is not where you want it to be and what happened, and by this point in my life I thought that these things would have happened for me, just hold on with that, because I was there at 3 a.m. having those thoughts. I'm like, I'm failing and what's wrong with me and how come I didn't do this, maybe I should have turned left instead of right. And then just in a matter of hours I'm feeling like, okay, wait a second, Things are good. Where am I from? I'm from a lot of places, honestly. So I consider myself from California. That's where I was born. Well, I wasn't born. I was raised here, but I was born in the East Coast, born in D.C., lived lots of places. So yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting, and so I feel much better. And so, like, here's the thing. Being back in the U.S., and that's the thing too, I think I told you guys before, I was like, what am I going to say on YouTube? Like, I'm not, there's not beaches behind me, I'm not in a bikini, and, I don't look as good as I used to look when I was living in the DR because, the food is different here, my lifestyle is totally different. I'm not like out in the sunshine, vitamin D, floating in the ocean all the time, doing bachata and salsa lessons. That's not what I'm doing. I'm living like a regular American life, so to speak. And so my body has changed, and I look at my face, I'm like, I look different. And I would feel bad about that sometimes, I was like, I don't want to go on camera looking like this. I'd look at pictures from years ago and go, damn, I was killing it, I'm in my 50s, you guys, and so bikini is like a big deal for me. And it's not like I have to be like skinny. I'm not trying to be skinny. I like my curves. I like my body. But I want to be able to put on whatever I want to put on and look good. Tastefully good. Not like the old lady who's trying to still wear the miniskirt. Not like that. But, tastefully elegant, look good. And that was hard to feel like, oh my God, I'm back here in this country and it's draining the life out of me. And the money is crazy here. You know how expensive things are. So, oh, Glennie, you're so sweet. Glennie. I should have a thing I could split the screen and see you guys too. Wouldn't that be fun? Like a Zoom call for everybody. Thank you for talking about all this as much as me. Aw, thank you. I'm so, you know what? That's the message right there. The fact that me sharing like what I'm going through, like the real stuff that I'm dealing with, it does connect with people, right? And I knew it. I'm like, I cannot be the only one who was feeling like, what the fuck, quite frankly. A mega fan. Oh my goodness, you guys are making me blush. How sweet. Thank you guys, really, because honestly, don't make me get choked up because I'm one of those emotional types. But there are times when I get choked up, like I feel overwhelmed. Like I was saying at the beginning of this, I will feel overwhelmed. Like I have so much to do and all the bills. And let me tell you this. So I'm divorced from my son's father. He lives in Atlanta. He doesn't do anything. And I can't speak to that because that's not my decision. I'm sure he would say, well, you moved to California, and so how could I, and blah, blah. Nah, please, where there's a will, whatever. I'm not going for that. But that means, though, that everything is on me, right? And that's very difficult. Not just like the financial piece, I'm talking about emotionally. My son is now 14, and so, that's got to be impacting him. And so there's just a lot of stuff that comes up that is hard to deal with. And, for a while there, I was bridging the gap. And I'd like call the dad and say, hey, here's what happened. And, he's doing basketball, or he asked this question, or blah, 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 he's wondering about this, or oh, he's acting funky, or whatever. We'd have those conversations. And recently I was like, you know what? I'm tired of holding everything up. I'm not going to be just spoon feeding you and trying to connect, because for a while I was. I'm like, no, you've chosen not to be involved and not send birthday cards or anything ever. Ever. I'm not. No, I have enough to do. I'm holding the fucking shit up. Look, I'm trying to keep my hair together and trying to keep myself together, and you know what I mean? I don't have time for all that. And raise a young man who is respectful and happy and healthy and all the things. You guys are killing it today. I love all the compliments. Thank you so much. Look at the hearts. Oh my gosh. So I think I'm going to come back on now and just start talking about whatever it is. I know I've said this before, like I'm going to start, doing more videos again, more vlogs, and then I haven't. Mainly because life just gets busy. Life is lifing, and I'm busy like the rest of you guys, but we're all busy with doing all the things we have to do, like running our households and running our lives and families and everything. But I do think it's helpful. It's definitely helpful for me because it is like venting kind of, and it also helps me kind of process through. I'm one of those people, I process by talking a lot, right? Like I talk to my friends about a lot of the stuff. Some people are more inward and they're kind of, maybe brooding or, writing things down. I do journal sometimes. I haven't done much lately. I've started meditating again, which is good. Like I said, this Joe Dispenza thing. If you haven't, Joe Dispenza, check him out. Look at Joe Dispenza. There it is again on YouTube. His meditations and retreats and stuff are next level. In fact, I just found out he's having a retreat in May in Basel, Switzerland. You know I'm in love with Switzerland now because I was there this past summer, but it's sold out, so I can't go. I would hop a flight and I would go to Switzerland because I want to go anyway, again. But yeah, so I think I'm going to try, I'm not going to promise, but really I'm going to try to just come on more regularly and just talk about what's happening, okay? And I might look crazy. I might look like I look when I'm at home, just hair however and whatever. And maybe sometimes I'll look a little bit better, but it's going to be the real deal. And I'll just, we'll just share. How about that? Do we have the Bodhi tree in LA? I don't know. Google that shit. I don't. Who am I? I'm not the Yellow Pages. Are you guys old enough to know about the Yellow Pages? I don't know. And by the way, it's only 1D in Bodhi tree. I don't know. Don't know if it's there. Yeah, I'm aware. I just don't know if it's there. Sorry, but you're welcome to Google it, my friend, and check it out. Okay, guys, I think that's long enough. I'm here. My flight, okay, 2:54. My flight leaves in about an hour. So I think I'm going to whip out the laptop real quick, check a couple of emails, whatever. It's not there. There you go, Prester. Thanks, Danielle. Who's in LA? Are you guys in LA also? There's no flight, no plane here. No. Okay. Alrighty. That's it. That's my message for the day. Mwah. Peace and love. Lots of kisses. Safe travels. Thank you so much. I am going to have fun. I believe lots of great things are going to happen. I'm committed to my own ascension, my own spiritual connection, my own progression and happiness and health and all the things. So more to come. More to come. Lots of love. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend. It's not quite the weekend yet, but have a good weekend. Okay. See ya. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, too. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love.